During the winter of 1881, a reporter for the New York Sun paid a visit to a unique School of Arms located on Manhattan's 6th Avenue. Later, he set down a description of this academy and of the extraordinary individual who greeted him there. Specimens of old armor hung on the walls, flanked by curious and rare weapons, daggers, pikes, halberds, muskets, foils, rapiers, broadswords, plastrons, bracers, masks, boxing gloves, Indian clubs, and dumbbells. The colonel, tall, erect, martial, his coat buttoned closely around his slim form, a silk skull-cap set jauntily upon his brown locks, which were parted with military precision down the back of his head and brought forward over his ears, and his iron-gray mustache and goatee carefully waxed, seemed fittingly framed by the weapons around him. The man was Thomas Hoyer Monstery. He was a fencing master, boxer, marksman, sailor, adventurer, street fighter, soldier of fortune, animal tamer, and world traveler. He was a veteran of numerous wars and an expert duelist, having participated in, by varying accounts, somewhere between 52 and 61 personal combats, and had 22 scars on his body to prove it. He was one of at least a dozen or so fencing masters in America still teaching the use of ancient European weapons such as the rapier, dagger, and quarterstaff, in addition to weapons still used on the battlefield such as the broadsword, knife, bayonet, pike, and lance. Also, unlike most fencing masters of his caliber and of his period, he was an American, or at least considered himself as such, though he could never quite shake the foreign accent acquired from the years spent abroad during his youth. He was, in his own words, a Gothic American. Childhood and early training. Although it is impossible to distill the entire life of a man, especially one as varied and extraordinary as Monstery's, down to only a few pages, an overview of his life is merited. Our subject was born Thomas Hoyer Monstery on April 21, 1824, in Copenhagen, Denmark. His father, an aristocrat of Irish ancestry, had been banished from the court of Denmark for slaying a man in a duel. He eventually died from the effects of a sword wound in the lungs when his son was a child. Monstery's only memory of his father was of the latter standing erect in a nightshirt, stained with blood at the breast and a sword in his hand. The boy's martial training commenced at the age of 12, when his family procured for him a place as a cadet in the Danish Navy. There he endured a near constant stream of abuse and the occasional brawl, forcing the young recruit to learn how to defend himself with his fists. During this time he also stabbed his first man in a fight, while on shore leave in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. At age 17, while serving aboard the ship Bologna, Monstery was injured by an accidental powder explosion, which rendered him temporarily blind and forever deprived him of the keen eyesight required for navigation and other tasks in the Navy. Monstery was promptly discharged from the service and sent home. After lengthy medical attention he regained his vision, although it was still severely impaired. The boy was not yet deterred from pursuing a martial life. After recuperating, he enrolled in the Royal Military Institute of Gymnastics and Arms in Copenhagen, one of the leading European institutions of its kind. It was here that Monstery began his fencing career under the direction of Franz Nachtigall, and where he learned to handle sword, musket, bayonet, rapier, cudgel, and quarterstaff with great proficiency. Although he was still nearly half blind from the accident and was forced to wear thick, powerful lenses, Monstery overcame his handicap while fencing by learning to rely on feeling and the motion of his adversary. He graduated at the head of his class, listed as number 1 in athletics of every kind, and was granted the rank of instructor at the military academy. Still desiring to become the best swordsman in the world, Monstery traveled throughout Europe, seeking instruction from the best masters he could find. His journey brought him to Stockholm, Sweden, where he entered the Central Institute of Physical Culture, founded by the celebrated Dr. Per Henrik Ling.